All right, so if you're an NA Valorant fan, you know what we've got for you today. Before their match against Immortals in NA Masters, 100 Thieves refused to start the game because they were arguing with the tournament organizer about what server to play on. And now, a video of some of that argument has been published online. 100 Thieves' coach has been put on probation for a full year, and the team has been fined $5 grand. Here's how it all went down. Alright guys, so if you love Valorant, if you want to see theScore do more Valorant content just like I do, make sure you scroll down, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, so as I'm sure many of you already know, Valorant Masters 1 was a pretty f***ing long tournament. This event spanned 2 weeks and ended with Tens and Sentinels becoming the first ever major tournament winners in North America. But that is not what this story is about. For this story, I've got to take you back to March 12th, when 100 Thieves played Immortals in the upper bracket quarterfinals. Now, if you're like me and you were anxiously awaiting Hiko and company's first game in Masters, you were pretty caught off guard when the match was delayed by like a full hour. And of course, we now know why it was delayed. Because 100 Thieves and their coach Frost did not agree with the methodology the tournament organizer, Nerd Street Gamers, was using to decide what server the games would be played on. Here's Hiko explaining how the whole situation went down the day after the match.
Nerd Street was not being consistent in their rulings when it came to server selection. They made a ruling last week when we played TSM that differed from the ruling they made this week against Immortals. So we were arguing with them for a bit to the point where we had to get Riot involved for Riot to make an official ruling because it wasn't handled very well with Nerd Street. So that's why it took so long.
As you heard from the Sova Stan himself, their main point of contention was that Nerd Street had allegedly changed the way that they decided on servers from 1 week to the next. And for all of you that don't know why the any of this server stuff matters, let me explain quick. Competitive online games have servers in different parts of the world that the game pings to connect to. The larger the difference between where you are and where the server is, will give you a higher number of milliseconds it takes for your game to ping the server. A higher number of milliseconds, or a higher ping, generally means a disadvantage. This is particularly true in FPS games, and even more true in a game like Valorant where Peeker's advantage exists. Long story short, as an example, if 100 Thieves had 3 guys with 50 ping and 2 guys with 5, and Immortals had 5 guys with 5 ping, 100 Thieves would be pretty mad. Now, flash forward from when this all happened to yesterday, March 23rd, Riot Games released this competitive ruling regarding the incident. A dispute over player ping delayed the start of the upper bracket quarterfinals match between 100 Thieves and Immortals by 1 hour. 100 Thieves prevented the start of the series despite the explicit instructions of the tournament operator to begin the series. Furthermore, 100 Thieves head coach Hector Frost Rosario demonstrated unprofessional behavior towards a tournament official. We are fining 100 Thieves $5,000 for an extensive broadcast delay due to non-compliance with tournament official decisions and are placing Frost on competitive probation for the duration of the 2021 Valorant Champions Tour. Yeah, so basically they decided to fine 100 Thieves $5 grand for delaying the tournament, which is not a lot at all for an esports organization. They also chose to place 100 Thieves coach Frost on probation for the entirety of the 2021 Champions Tour. That's a full year. And that, my fellow Valorant fans, is where shit hit the fan. In response to Riot's statement, 100 Thieves released a statement of their own, challenging the ruling and denying the fact that Frost ever used the player's social media presence to gain leverage in the argument, which is something Riot stated in their statement. They also clarified that they felt that the ruling the tournament organizers made in regards to the servers was in, quote, direct contradiction to one they made the week prior against Team Solo Mid, which is what started all of this. Notably, they also said that they planned to pay their fine and move on, which didn't really happen, because immediately after, they released 4 minutes of actual video footage of the argument Frost had with the tournament organizers from his side.
But it has to apply in the exact same way, Joseph. You can't just arbitrarily change the rules. And if you're going to do that, then we can fight back by just literally not playing. And if you DC against us, or if you give us a DC, you're in a bigger shitstorm than we are. There is a huge difference with 8 ping compared to 44, by the way. On every game. It's worse in this game than it is, let's say, Rocket League. So if your argument is that, then sure. I mean, we can argue semantics there, but not in a shooting game. The peeker's advantage is a thing. And Riot has also said it's a thing, and they are aware that it's a thing, and they publicly have stated this. Whoa. Come on. The first thing that you came in here to say is shut up, Gumba. Yo, I don't know who the f you think you are, but you need to relax. First off, I haven't said anything to you. I haven't said anything to you. I'm not even talking to you. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't even be here. Packing and I should be here. You need to get out of here. And you definitely don't need to start telling somebody, shut up, when me and Josie are having a discussion.
Now, after watching this, it's first important to say a couple things. First, this is only one side of the conversation. We can't hear what the tournament organizers have to say. Two, this is only 4 minutes of a conversation that very easily could have been a lot longer. With that said, it did appear to get heated, and Frost absolutely did say the words, quote, "If you DC us, you're going to be in a bigger shitstorm than we are." Which 100 Thieves said in their statement was the extent to which any of the players' social media presence was being leveraged. And as you might imagine, this video sent esports Twitter into a tailspin, because there are a lot of disputes in esports. But let me tell you, as someone who does this for a living, it's not every day that there's actual video footage of the conversation. And this story doesn't end with just one 4-minute video. In direct response to the video that 100 Thieves posted, Riot Games issued yet another statement on Tuesday night. In their second statement, they added a key amendment and said that 3 independent witnesses confirmed that Frost threatened to use the player's social media presence outside of that one statement 100 Thieves included against the tournament organizers. Quote, 3 independent witnesses provided testimony that Frost made a statement to this effect. When asked directly about it in an interview by Riot League operations personnel, Frost admitted that he had made this statement. Although 100 Thieves provided Riot with a clip showing Frost's side of the conversation that does not include this statement, they declined to provide the full video to Riot. End quote. And that, my friends, is all we know so far. So what we have here is Riot Games releasing an original ruling, 100 Thieves then contesting that ruling, saying that Frost never used the player's social media clout to win an argument over server ping. Then 100 Thieves releases a 4-minute video of the argument, and then Riot Games says, yeah, but that's not the whole thing. He did do that, and we have 3 witnesses telling us that he did do that. Now, according to Riot's ruling, any further non-compliance with the rules over the course of the 2021 Valorant Champions Tour could lead to further penalties or even bans for Frost. As for Nerd Street Gamers, well, they only tweeted one thing on the night of March 23rd, and it was a particularly topical and funny video. Now, as for the actual ruling, who's at fault, and who took things too far, well, it's hard to say. If you watch that video, it's extremely clear that Frost was unhappy with whatever was going on, and he was not afraid to tell who was ever on the other end of that line how unhappy he was. On the other hand, if decisions really were being made unfairly, maybe he has a point. I mean, this is online esports. Ping matters. Either way, given this is the first quote-unquote act of defiance against Riot in Valorant, they acted swiftly. What do you think? Do you think Riot was too harsh on 100 Thieves, or were 100 Thieves out of line? Let me know in the comments. What I'll say about that, Devin, is that considering you have this well-known gaming syndrome called run in and die alone, I would certainly consider your ping, because peeker's advantage matters a lot for someone who ego peeks every corner. Question mark? Question mark?